Today's deep cut is Dr. Giggles from 1992, the American slasher directed by Manny Coto, starring Larry Drake and Holly Marie Combs. Let's get into it. Welcome everyone, this is Mike from FearShop.com. Today's deep cut, Dr. Giggles from 1992, directed by Manny Coto, starring Larry Drake and Holly Marie Combs. Before we get into the video, start smashing that like button for me. You're going to love the video, so you might as well get it out of the way now. Definitely appreciate the love and support. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel. Also, make sure you hit that bell to set up notifications so you know when the next video drops. We're dropping at least 2 movies a week, or 2 videos a week, I should say. So definitely want you to know when those videos come out. Make sure you're also commenting on the video, letting me know what you think about some of these movies, as well as what other types of videos you would like to see. I kind of love this deep cut segment. It gives me a chance to talk about the movies that I love that a lot of people may not have heard of. And Dr. Giggles, it's definitely one much maligned movie by a lot of people. But I think this was a really interesting movie that still holds up well. We're talking almost 30 years later. So, again, 1992 American slasher. Larry Drake stars as Dr. Evan Rendell Jr., Holly Marie Combs as Jennifer Campbell. The film co-stars Cliff DeYoung and Glenn Quinn. It was released on October 23rd, 1992. Director Manny Coto, he was the executive producer and showrunner of Star Trek Enterprise in its final season. He executive produced 4 seasons of 24. He was also executive producer and writer for the 5th season of the Showtime TV series Dexter. He has writing credits on Alfred Hitchcock Presents, Tales from the Crypt, The Outer Limits, and much more. That is one hell of a resume. So I will say, obviously love Larry Drake and Darkman, Dark Knight of the Scarecrow. Can't say enough about that one. This is one of his finest performances, I should say. He's absolutely frightening in this movie. His faces, his maniacal laugh. When this came out, it felt like it would become a franchise, but it just never materialized. All right, it borrowed a few things from Halloween. An escaped mental patient returns home to kill teens in the town. At times, you have the killer hiding in plain sight. The main difference is Dr. Giggles talks, and it ends up being one of his best traits. Dr. Giggles is not only crazy, but he has, quite a few sharp one-liners. There's also a few decent kills in this movie as well. The instrument through the nose is uncomfortable to watch. The thermometer kill was awesome. Dr. Giggles' surprise in the bed is absolutely frightening. You have the stomach pump kill. And there's possibly no better scene than how Dr. Rendell got his son out of the house. That is frightening and awesome. Definitely do not want to spoil that for you. The poor doctor just wanted to save his wife. Like they said in the movie, the sicker he got, the crazier he got. So Holly Marie Combs has done a ridiculous amount of TV shows, as well as having been in some huge movies, including Born on the 4th of July and Ocean's 11. Dougie Doug was in this movie, but most people have no idea who he is. He was a young comedian, did some work with Russell Simmons. He starred in Jungle Fever, Hanging with the Homeboys, Class Act, and Cool Runnings, the 1993 film based on the true story of the first Jamaican national bobsled team trying to make it to the Winter Olympics. He was also in 8-Legged Freaks on the horror side of things. I think I'm kind of showing my age with knowing a lot of those movies. There is some forced dialogue at times, such as the dad mentioning dinner was almost ready while his daughter is eating an apple, and her response is, you know what they say, an apple a day keeps the doctor away. Could have done a little bit better on that one, maybe. But, of course, you always get the token backstory where everybody knows about the town legend or urban legend, but all of a sudden they forget and start asking questions. The kid was telling the story, and then somebody else like, wait, they stoned him to death, right? And, a lot of that stuff is forced as an attempt to try to give a backstory. I've seen it repeated. Night of the Demons had also done it too, where it sounds forced and it is forced. So the characters really aren't horrible, but part of it is there's too many of them. Of course, the more characters you have, the more you can kill. 17 deaths in total in this movie. Some of the writing is strange at times, like who steals their mother's lingerie and wants to see his girlfriend in it. He also uses her toothbrush to scoop a condom out of the toilet. I just don't see that kind of stuff happening. Jennifer's dad picks himself a really good match with possibly the most non-caring person in the world. The shame of Dr. Giggles is the critical response was not good. Everyone respects Drake's performance, but people find the film to be uneven with too many horror tropes being abused in this film. I can see a lot of that stuff, but at the end, I'll take a slasher movie any day of the week, even if it's not the most original at times. I do think Dr. Giggles had a fair amount of originality. Like I said earlier in the video, I truly thought this was going to become a franchise. I watched this movie in the theater. I enjoyed the hell out of it. I remember walking out of the theater and people were like, whoa, that was trash. And I was just like, what, did we watch the same movie? I thought that was pretty damn cool. Of course, I'm a little bit of a horror nerd, and I will take, slashers any day of the week, or any general horror movies any day of the week. I've seen a lot of bad movies. I really don't think Dr. Giggles is anywhere near some of those bad movies. I've seen this movie on so many lists that people put of unintentionally funny, but the movie was trying to be funny. So that part I really don't get. I've also seen this list on worst horror movies ever made. Come on, really? There's so many bad ones out there. Dr. Giggles is far from horrible. Alright, some fun facts about Dr. Giggles. Jennifer Aniston and Ashley Judd both auditioned for the role of Jennifer. Manny Coto revealed that the MPAA told him he had a lot of work to do on the film before they can give it an R rating. They had to cut out a lot of the gore because the MPAA was particularly harsh on him since horror films faced heavy censorship in the early 90s. Matt Frewer and Ted Danson were considered for the title role of Dr. Giggles. My opinion, either of those two would be a mistake. I have to admit, I would have loved to have seen Ted Danson do the role. Not sure how it would have turned out. I think he's a hell of an actor. Although I think he's definitely more of a comedy type actor. His role in Creepshow was nowhere near as good as his role as Sam Malone, which is basically the only thing I always think of when I think of Ted Danson. So, for my taste, I enjoyed Dr. Giggles quite a bit. I found the Doctor to be awesome. The kills are good. The story is intriguing. I watch this film every couple of years and enjoy it every time. To me, the weakest part are some of the characters, but I don't really despise them nearly as much as other people do. I find Dr. Giggles to be a really good watch that everybody needs to check out. Is it going to be winning awards? Well, yeah, not exactly. But I think the majority of people that are watching this video right now, you give Dr. Giggles a chance, and I have a feeling the majority of you will fall on my side of things. That this movie's pretty good. It's a film that is not widely spread out there. It's definitely something that's a little bit harder to find. I have a copy of it, so that's how I watch it all the time. Not sure which streaming service it's on, but definitely check it out. And if you have the opportunity to see it, you really should check this one out. All right, so that wraps this video up for us. I hope you liked this video. If you do, make sure you smash that like button. If you did it at the beginning of the video, and you're still watching, that means you liked the video. So definitely smash that like button for me. And if you like this video, check out the other playlists that we have, including Deep Cut series. That one's new and growing, but also the Awesome or Awful series. I love doing those. It's a very black and white approach to whether a movie was awesome or awful. There's no gray lines in that one. Also, we do Deep Dive series, which is different than Deep Cut series. There, the Deep Dive goes into the more well-known movies. And obviously, Deep Cuts are the deeper cuts, the more underrated horror movies. So, until the next time, make sure you're liking this video. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel. Make sure you're commenting on the videos that you watch. Most importantly, make sure you keep it hard.